Hello Mutofupa, today what's in my pot is Bambara Nuts or Aboboi, and I'm serving it with some Kaakro or Kaakro. So if you've ever cooked Bambara Nuts, you will know how difficult sometimes it gets to get it nice and creamy. So I have got my own little twist to it, and I'm going to show you how I do it and how I get it this creamy. So stay with me as I show you how I cook it. So first of all, I wash my Bambara nuts and then I soak it in some hot water for about 20 to 30 minutes. Now let me introduce you to the other ingredients. So I use some shea butter, fresh shea butter, some potatoes, some onions, some sage, some rosemary, pepper, sugar, and some salt. So after 20-30 minutes, I decided to start boiling my Bambara nuts, and I added in my potatoes, just a small piece, the rosemary, the scotch bonnet, a small piece of onion, some sage, and I got it to start boiling. Now onto how I made my Kaakro. For the Kaakro, I used some overly ripe plantains that I had. That is what you need to make Kaakro. Some onion, scotch bonnet, ginger, sage, After Village Kitchen 7 spice blend, some flour and some salt, and of course oil for frying. So for the onion and ginger and scotch bonnet, I cut them into tiny pieces to help me grind easily. Sometimes I use my grater to help grate my ginger and onions, and it makes the work really easy. So the rule of thumb here for me to get a really nice spicy Kaakro is I use about a thumb size ginger and a quarter of a small onion, and the peppers up to your preference, for about 3 plantains, and it works really well. So I've got a recipe that I'll provide in the description box so you can have a look. So I basically doubled up my recipe, and I also reduced the amount of pepper that I was using because I wanted my little ones to eat it. I like my Kaakro quite spicy, but this time I decided not to. So I grinded my onion, garlic, pepper, and sage finely, and added in some 7 spice blend and grounded all of that really nicely. And then I proceeded to add in my ripe plantains, which I had washed really well before using them. So with the plantains, my advice is you need ones that are really ripe, the type that you cannot even fry as a normal plantain or use as Kelly Willy. That works really well in Kaakro, and it has to be a good type of plantain. You know, mine, I got these plantains during just before the lockdown, and plantains were scarce. So these plantains were really some sad looking plantains, and they were not so great. So the end result of my Kaakro wasn't that great. So I would advise that you use some really good quality plantains that are overly ripe, and you will get the best results. So here I had grounded everything nicely, added my salt to taste, and I added in my flour. Any type of flour will do, and my rule of thumb here is to use about half a tablespoon to 1 tablespoon of flour per 3 plantains. Alright, it works well. You get the nice, it holds its shape really well, right? Sometimes you don't want Kaakro that is so soggy. I don't like that. I don't like it soaked with oil, so I want it to hold its shape but not to be too hard. At this point, I checked on my Bambara nuts and most of the water had simmered out of it, but the nuts were still hard. Bambara beans take a good while to cook, so you need to top it up with more water now and then. So that was done, covered, and I went on to fry my Kaakro. And to do that, normally I check my oil, the readiness of my oil, by having a sacrificial Kaakro or whatever I'm cooking. I have a little bit to start off, and once that is cooked through, I know my oil is ready to be used to fry the rest of whatever I'm frying. So in this case, my Kaakro. So yes, it was ready, and I just dropped spoonfuls of my Kaakro butter into my hot oil and fried away this delicious spicy Kaakro. The thing I love about Kaakro is you're not wasting any plantains that would have by any chance gone into the bin. A good way to use up overly ripe plantains. So I checked on my Bambara nuts and they were almost cooked. They had softened up, and I mashed some of it in, took out my herbs and the pepper, and the potato had just softened and become part of the Bambara nuts. So I added in my shea butter and sugar and a bit of salt to taste, just a tiny pinch. So with the shea butter, I will recommend that you use the freshest you can get, eating shea butter. If you haven't got that, do use coconut oil. It does give it a lovely taste. So my Bambara nuts had also thickened up too much, and I loosened it up with a bit of hot water. And my Kaakro was just ready. Hey, it was smelling good, and everything was just coming together, and I couldn't wait to eat. So I got myself a plate and I served myself some. So yeah, you've got to try this and let me know how you like my twist to this Bambara beans. Alright, I hope to hear from you soon. And Midofupa, be appreciative of whatever situation you find yourself in. Do make the most of it, and whilst at it, have a wonderful time. And don't forget to subscribe, share with your friends, turn on your notification button because there are more videos coming your way. See you in the next video.